morning, everybody. I am so glad that you're here. I'm so super excited for today's episode of the Moms Making Money Show. I have a super, super special guest who I think can relate to just about everybody watching today. I have Tara Zirker, and she is the Facebook ads master. I sometimes refer to her as a Facebook ad ninja because she does all these things that are super stealth that I haven't yet figured out exactly what the heck is going on. So, but that's why she's here. She's here to help us figure out all the things that are going on with Facebook ads and how to navigate around those. So I wanted to bring her on the show because I feel like her business and the way she has it structured is so helpful for entrepreneurs, especially those of us who maybe we're just starting out or we're ready to take that next step. So if you're logging in and you see us live, go ahead and give us a wave, tell us hi, ask your questions. We're going to do our best to get to the questions. Tara's also going to leave us with at least one excellent tip today. And I would guess it's probably going to be better than that because we have such a good bonus gift today. So I'm going to turn it over to Tara. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started. And hey, you guys, we're having a technical glitch here with our program. So Tara can't even see us. So bear with us if there's a delay in answering the questions, okay? So take it away, Tara.
Thank you so much, Amie, first of all, for inviting me on the show. I'm so excited to be here with you and your viewers. So awesome. Your community is amazing. And so, and like Amie said, I can't actually see anyone's comments. I kind of have my phone in case I can pull up and see there, but I know Amie will help with any questions that come through. Would love to answer those. So my name is Tara Zirker, and I own a marketing agency called Sunbeam Communications, where we execute on large monthly budgets, anywhere from $25,000 to $250,000 a month for our clients on Facebook and Google. And then I also have a membership called Successful Ads Club, where we teach business owners who want to do their own lead generation, Facebook ads, eventually Google AdWords, eventually Pinterest. We teach them exactly how to do it, and support them all along the way. And I got started with my company actually years and years ago. I mean, you could actually trace it all the way back to when I was a small child and selling brownies and greeting cards and organizing car washes. And I would be like the car wash manager, and I would have all my neighborhood friends do the car washes. I had an online cosmetics company when I was 16 years old. It was featured in Cosmo Girl. It got some national attention, obviously Cosmo Girl, and kind of blew up a little bit. And so I've always, it was kind of, and it was text only, by the way. I would send out this little email catalog of the inventory for the week, and it would be text only. There was no online kind of payment gateways back then. So I would send the stuff, people would send me paper checks, and it was kind of fun. So as I grew older and became an adult, I started a couple of other companies. I had a social media management company while I was attending graduate school in Hawaii. And when I moved to the East Coast to marry my husband, I formed it into, I actually sold that company, restarted a new company, and made it everything about marketing, right? So online marketing. So web design, SEO, social media, just kind of the whole gamut. And we specialized in spa and wellness, and it was fabulous. And then eventually, thanks to one of my mentors, Nisha Moodley, she recommended that I split off my advertising as a standalone service, which I really resisted, but eventually did, and built that up into a beautiful advertising agency. So now we focus purely on advertising. We do Google AdWords and Facebook ads, and we work with some incredible clients, some really well-known entrepreneurs and New York Times bestselling authors. And that was kind of our journey. You know, it was taking advantage of every one of those kind of lucky breaks and building on them and optimizing them. And that's what led us to where we're at today. So it's been quite the journey for sure.
Oh my, you have been a lifelong entrepreneur. And, it's funny that you mentioned like selling Girl Scout cookies and those types of things, because that's where it really all starts. Like for so many of us, I used to sling Girl Scout cookies door to door, like back in the day when it was safe, when you could go walk around your neighborhood.
Oh gosh. Yes, exactly. I feel like, well, for some people, they discover that gift later in life, or that calling that they have to go out and serve people in kind of that entrepreneurial way. And others, it's just that thing that you maybe are not born with, but you discover. I mean, I think if you're an entrepreneur, you're born with it, but perhaps you just discover it a little bit earlier, depending on your circumstances in life.
Right. Exactly. I wanted to talk to you guys. Obviously, this series of the Moms Making Money show was born out of trying to share the message of confidence and taking those first steps in starting your business. And I wanted to have you share your story a little bit, because obviously, even as far back as selling Girl Scout cookies, it wasn't just instant success. You may have hit the ground running, but along the path, there's like the occasional bump or roadblock or U-turn or whatever. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about some of the obstacles that you had when you were first starting out, whether it was with Sunbeam or maybe even just with Sunbeam, of the things that maybe kind of like they kept you going, like staying awake at night, and maybe like had you second guessing yourself and this journey?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, there are so many. And, I think every entrepreneur is going to face the dark night of their soul, right? And for me, I used to face it almost weekly when I was starting out. Like, is this worth it? Am I doing the right things? I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have a ton of confidence in my skill set, even though that was kind of my career. And if I was employed by someone else, I was totally confident. But when you go out on your own, all of a sudden you're holding the container of not only your own services, but also, you're holding the container of the space for your team, and also just the business container, right? And thinking about profitability and your P&L statements and cash flow and just, sometimes it takes a while to gain confidence in kind of those big girl business skills, what I call them. You really have to rise up into being the CEO of your company. And I always thought that was a little bit, I don't know, I don't necessarily relate to being kind of a CEO. You know what I mean? I have a great business. I have team members, but CEO, like I'd rather call myself the owner of my company than the CEO. But truly, there are CEO skills that you have to bring into your business. You have to be able to look at your P&L. You have to be able to, get company savings into your business savings account and maintain that. You have to grow your team. You have to nurture your team. You have to think about client experience or customer experience. All of those are CEO skills for sure. And so, in the early days, the dark night of the soul came quite often. But as you go on in business, and I would say, they always say that the breakthrough is in the breakdown. And I would say that there was a moment in my business, it was probably, when would it have been? Maybe a year and a half or 24 months ago, somewhere in that range, where all heck broke loose. And we had a breakdown in our team. I was pregnant. I'm trying to think if I had even just had my baby. It might have been right around that time. I think I was pregnant. And there was a breakdown in our team and all of our clients. This was when we were doing full service management for kind of, we would do the SEO, the web design, the social media, the blog, the news. We held the entire online presence for a lot of clients. And because I was either pregnant or just barely had Hazel, I can't remember which, it was a little bit crazy. It was just a crazy time. Yeah. And because of this breakdown in our team, our clients felt it. And I got, very upset emails from every single one of them. This is really vulnerable for me to share because we always want the perception of our business being great, right? Or perfect. Yeah. I see the back end of a lot of businesses, and I'll tell you, there's not a perfect or even every single business is a little messy behind the scenes. And this was a definitely messy chapter for us. And so I got these, upset emails and text messages and phone calls, and it was literally so overwhelming. My schedule was full at the time. I was in the middle of, kind of this new experience of transitioning to motherhood. And I had to deal with this. And you know what? Because there were so many breakdowns that I was trying to adjust, I could not respond. Like, I had clients texting me and being like, here's what's happening. I'm like, I'm so sorry about that. I am going to resolve this, but I am going to be honest with you. This is going to take me weeks to resolve. I thought I was going to lose every last one of our clients. And they would text me back and be like, thank you so much. Okay, great.
Oh, that's awesome. Not awesome that you experienced this, but awesome that, to know and to hear that it all works out. And yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of business you have, whether it's brick and mortar, you own a restaurant, you've got a construction company, or you've got a home-based business, whatever it is, so there's always a hiccup. I did a video, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, and I talked about, sometimes go figure, my house phone rings. I don't even have knows my number. So it's a telemarketer trying to hack in on our video here. But so there's a perfect example of unexpected things in business. But
go with the flow.
Even I use the example of a wedding. Like, every person who's had a wedding or been part of a wedding, they can probably relate to the fact that there was something that was a hiccup, like something didn't go right. Like, one of my girlfriends, she got wine spilled on the front of her wedding dress on her wedding day. And there's so many things that, that you hope that you can say, okay, if this is the worst thing that happens, then we're good to go, that type of thing. And I can totally relate to, whether you go back to work or you're doing your own thing, it is a challenge, especially when you're, new to motherhood and you're, I call it zombie mode. Like, you're just stuck in this mode of no sleep. You feel like a zombie. You don't remember the last time you took a shower, your hair's sticking out every place, you can't even think about putting on makeup, so it's and then all this overwhelm, and it's a lot to get through. So I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, because I'm so glad to hear, obviously that, other businesses were not alone when, little hiccups and road bumps occur. It's just part of the journey. And it's super scary. It's scary to get an email from a client that says, hey, I'm not happy with what's going on right now. Even if it's not a very big deal, even if it's something as simple as, hey, I don't like the way that email looked. It looked a little bit wonky. Your heart will sink instantly. And it's hard. It's hard to get those, but you can overcome it. And obviously, Sunbeam, you're the perfect example of, stepping into that CEO role, getting your thinking cap on, and just doing what you felt was the best thing to do, leading with integrity, leading with honesty, and doing the best that you could with what you had, with the resources that you had.
Well, and what was interesting was it was liberating. So we went through this messy 6 weeks. We got the problems resolved. We came out strengthened. And I thought for sure, I was like, our client, we're going to lose some clients here. We didn't. We had one client reduce their package ever so slightly, and that was it. Oh. And that was it. And so, and they, by the way, we have we have clients for multiple years. It didn't affect anything, relationship wise. We came out ahead. It was so liberating, because for the first time in my entire business, I felt like I could exhale and I could go to bed, even with a challenge or an obstacle on an account, and not worry about it anymore. I could go through the day without having all of these worries, if we don't keep on top of every single little thing, they're going to freak out and they're going to leave us. And I just knew, okay, this is when you're working with people, it's a real relationship, and it can weather some storms. It really can. In romantic relationships, we always know there's going to be hard times, right? And I guess for the first time, it sunk in for me that you can really weather some pretty significant storms with your clients as well. And it's trust me, it's a lot harder for them to go out and rehire somebody and onboard them to your, to their processes. They're willing to weather a few bumps in the road, even if they're significant, because it's a real relationship, as long as you approach it with kind of like you were saying, that integrity and honesty.
Right.
So ever since then, it's been amazing, because I feel like every business owner needs to go through a period where everything just hits the fan, pardon my expression, but it just goes nuts, right? And when you come out on the other side and you realize that you're still okay, I feel like that's when you're just you can really be more stable in your emotional, state with your business.
Well, and the good thing too is, like, sometimes when you see people who advertise on social media, regardless of what their business is, you look at them and you think, gosh, everything is going so perfectly for them. Everything is just in line. Like, they can never relate to, the self-doubt that I'm having, these fears that I'm having, maybe, because say you were to start another business down the road, you would have that thought of like, okay, this happened in the past. So maybe they've had, something catastrophic happen. Maybe they've been out of business before, or their first business didn't take, or whatever. So doing all these things moving forward can be really scary. But you don't see that, like, when you're going to hire a coach, or when you're going to hire, an advertising agency, or you're going to hire a mentor, or whatever it is. You never see that. And a lot of people don't ever talk about it. Like, fortunately for me, like, my coach that I have, because I always keep a coach, she's super transparent. Like, she'll tell us anything, like, I wasn't feeling in alignment at that time, or this was going on at that time. And my kid's breaking in, he wants to be on TV. So all these things, like, you never see that usually when you're seeing, you see everybody's highlight reel, basically. So by sharing that story, like, yes, you have a very successful company, but it's not, puppies and rainbows every single day. There's still obstacles. It's still work. And I think a lot of people, especially with the growth and the popularity of MLMs, which I love MLMs. I think they're fantastic. A lot of people get this preconceived notion that it's going to be like overnight success, and that they're, it's like that get rich quick pill, kind of like what everybody hopes for when they get on a diet. They're like, oh, I need this magic pill. But there's still things that happen. Like you said, everybody's behind the scenes can be a little bit messy. And that's the stuff that, nobody really sees. So I guess the next thing is, I want to know, tell us a little bit about the Successful Ads Club, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's a membership. And basically you have, you get a training and pretty much full access to Tara and her team. And I can tell you firsthand that Tara herself comes in and answers your questions, even outside of the weekly Q&A. So maybe if you want to expand on that a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amie. So we have our membership Successful Ads Club, and it is really designed for people to come in, learn how to do their own ads, get support on weekly Q&As, and of course, post any questions you have in our Facebook group. One thing that we have noticed with Facebook groups across various sort of training programs is that they're mostly meant for peer-to-peer interaction. And you don't get a lot of the founder or the team coming in and really supporting the questions. And we were like, that's not going to happen with our group. We're actually going to be in there every single day answering questions. And because of that, it's a very, very vibrant Facebook group. We get a lot of fabulous questions. We make sure every single question gets an answer that's useful and actionable. So we have this available for business owners who really want to pull the lever on their own lead generation. And I will share out that we also have for your community, Amie, if anybody is interested in joining, they can join their first month for $7. It's really affordable. After that, it's $59 a month. But if you want to join, you would put Amie's code. It's Amie7.
Okay, I've got that up on the screen now.
That's perfect. And you'd have to do all capital letters and then just make sure to click the apply button when you put in the code. So that way the code will, or the discount will apply, and then you will get access for your first month for $7. So it's a great way to come and test it out. If you are thinking that it's time to learn your own ads, it's a really great resource. And if you're interested in hiring somebody, there's so many wonderful people who do Facebook ads. But the thing is, a lot of business owners are not ready for that kind of investment. Facebook ads are a much like higher effort than, say, Google AdWords, for example. And so because of that, Facebook ad managers do charge a lot more than Google AdWords or some of the other platforms. And so just know that, if you're not quite ready for the investment, especially monthly, then get resourced in another way. If it's us, we would love to have you, or any other training program out there, that would teach you how to do your own ads. It's such a fabulous skill to learn for your business. It makes all the difference.
Would you say, this is kind of my thought on a lot of things. Would you say that it's pretty important as a business owner to go into something like Facebook ads, right? Knowing how to do those yourself, so that way you could manage those yourself.
You can manage them, and when you're to the place of hiring, you will know if you've got somebody good that you're working with, because we're very good. My team is excellent. I would say one of the best out there, but there are so many ads managers charging a premium, right? They're coming out of 6 or 8 week training courses, knowing what the rates are, but not having the experience to really command those premium rates. And I will tell you that we have more people coming to us, booking in 1 hour calls to say, can you just look at my account and see if this looks right? And we'll look at it and we'll be like, I am so sorry. You have literally just wasted $3,000. Like, these ads are not set up correctly. They are not getting any results. And sometimes we'll even, set up a test ad and they'll have their cost per lead instantly, like right where they need it to be, right? Just to show them like, these are so like not set up right. And so just setting up your ads, just knowing how it's done, being able to pop into your ads account and in 30 seconds be like, yep, my ads team's doing a great job. Or, oh my gosh, they have no idea what they're doing. Like, that will save you thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you don't believe me, you can ask any one of our hour-long phone calls that we, get requests for all the time. Can you just pop in and take a peek? And so that's really why we started the club. So for business owners who want to run their own ads, or others who, literally just use it as a resource, like, hey guys, can you just look at this really fast? Is this all right? Yep, your team's doing a great job. Okay, cool. Thanks. So just a way to get your ads looked at and supported.
Right. And that's just it, is so many people who, you do have seasoned pros who have, expert ad campaigns that they're spending $50,000 a month in Facebook ads. But you have so many, I would say you probably have so many more people who, are starting out and they're trying their hand at things. And then they don't know the difference between, ad manager and boosting a post. They don't really know how to test an ad. They don't really even know how to target their ideal audience. They don't know that there's like, I don't know, what is there now? Like 10 different options of what to even do with an ad behind the scenes, whether it's a video conversion ad or an actual conversion ad or a lead ad, or, it's so overwhelming. Trust me, it's so overwhelming. I've myself, I think Tara and I talked about this before the show. I've hesitated on, really diving into Facebook ads because it scares the bejeebers out of me. Like, I actually spoke with Tara. I'm like, can you just find me somebody who can do it for me? And she's like, yeah, I totally can, but, coming back to that, one, it's super expensive, so you've really got to have like the down payment on a car available to, and that's how a lot of people think about it, especially if you're like a stay-at-home mom trying to start a business. You're like, $3,000 or $4,000, I could even buy a used car. So for them, that number in itself can be so intimidating, especially, like I said, just starting out. But you can learn how to do it yourself. And yes, it is labor intensive. Like, you have to learn it. You have to put the effort forward. But I've also seen that once you kind of get in the groove and you go through your training and you kind of get clarity when there's a question, which is great because most self-training courses, you're just kind of on your own. This one, it's, a self-paced training. And then you can hop into the community and say, hey, you said this and that in this video. I'm not exactly sure what that meant. And then within 24 to 48 hours, you've got an instant response. Usually within like 24 to 48 minutes, you've got a response from somebody saying, this is what she meant, or, this is what you need to do with that information. And you can move forward, and then it gets easier.
It totally gets easier. As you kind of exercise this muscle, you will find actually most of our clients and customers, once they learn how to do Facebook ads, get kind of addicted. It's very fun. And to control the lever on your own lead generation, there is no other skill in business. I would say it's number one. I really would. And there's, of course, networking skills and sales skills. All of those are really important. But if you can control your own lead generation, you can control your fate entirely. And so I think it's the number one thing to learn as a business owner, for sure.
I would agree. And just, for me, I guess I'm a self-admitted control freak. So I struggle with the idea of saying, okay, there's certain things I would much rather pay somebody to build me a funnel where I can just go in and tweak it before it launches if I need to, or it can be revised, than to fork over, like you said, thousands of dollars, because I've yet to see somebody who charges under $1,000 or several $1,000s, and most people want, $4,000 or $5,000 a month for an ongoing period of time because they want to be able to guarantee that you get the results, right? Which I fully understand that, but that's a hard thing to get into making that type of investment at first. Later down the road, you're like, okay, I'm earning all this money. Please take it off my plate. But then at least if you've got the experience of what to do with a Facebook ad, you've built it yourself, then you can go out and oversee it and say, yeah, this looks right. Just like you were saying, kind of like if you're in construction, it's hard to tell somebody that they're building your house wrong if you've never built a house. So then you're just at the mercy of these people. So I really feel like this is a great place. It's good advice on a daily basis, in my experience, actually.
Thank you, Amie. That means so much coming from you.
Oh, thank you. But I do have the link up I have it posted. I will post it into the top of the video as well when we stop here. And then feel free to hop in, give it a try. I mean, for $7, if you could really get cracking and learn how to do your Facebook ads in the first 30 days, you've learned how to do your Facebook ads for $7. So, I mean, it's really a no-brainer at this point to hop into Tara's program and give it a try. So I'm super, super, super excited that she offered that to our community. And that I'm just super stoked about that. It's such a great value. So yes, definitely hop in there and check it out. And if you have any questions or you're catching the replay, please feel free to hop in, click replay, and we'll go from there. I don't want to keep Tara too much longer because she does have a busy agency to run. And I know everybody out there is super busy. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for catching the replay. And a huge, huge, huge thank you to Tara Zirker for taking the time to join our show and to offer us such an amazing gift, you guys. Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you, Amie. It was such a pleasure to be here with you and your community. And you're just doing great work. Thank you for having me on the show.